Hey fans, Mr. Fix-It here. What's happening? 2 videos, 1 day. What's going on? Hey, today got this Homax wall texture. Before I go on to that, I got to tell you something about my last video. My last video I just put out on chalk paint. Well, chalk paint I got a follower in England, Jusby, I don't know what his real name is, but he comments on my videos, keeps me straight, lets me know what's happening with the products and all. But anyway, he just informed me that the schools have been using that chalkboard paint for years and years, so it's a very reliable product. He said they coat their schools every year over there with the same stuff, so apparently I don't know everything. Surprise. Just kidding, guys. Look, Homax wall texture. This is the knockdown. Reason why I got knockdown. Knockdown I got because I'm doing this house, okay? And it looks like, if you look at it real good, okay? Knockdown, orange peel, who knows what it is. So in this instance, what I do is I coated this with real big bumps. I open the sucker up. You can open it up down here. Check it out. I don't know if you can see. It's really hard to see the markings. But on top here, you can open this to light and full, and the pressure's right here. So this regulates the pressure. So this is low, this is high, and this right here is how big the bubbles, the blobs are to come out. Okay, so you can have it on fine or heavy. I don't think you can see it. Maybe you could see it. Can you see that? It's really tough. But anyway, they make 2 kinds of cans. This can I like best because it doesn't clog up as much. The other one clogs up on me, so I like this one better. Usually I buy the orange peel because it is orange peel. But with this instance, I kind of don't really. It kind of doesn't have a branding on it. It's kind of knocked down in some areas, orange peel. So I figure what they did, they had the orange peel, and then they went over it, or they had knockdown and then went over it with orange peel. So what I did the same thing on mine. I basically put the knockdown on first. Okay, it's real wet now. When it dries, it'll look more even. But I put big blobs on first, on heavy and light pressure. And then I took my knife. Hold on, let me get my knife. I forgot my knife. Take your knife. This is a 12-inch or 10-inch. Either way, 10 or 12. And then you basically just scrape it over the bumps after 5-10 minutes. Scrape it over and flatten it out. You want to wait that time so it gets some, dryness to it, and you don't pull the whole bump. You just pull the top part of the bump. So I went over it like that. Then on this wall, I took it and I went on real low on the bumps on the front nozzle and real high on the back. And then you stand back from the wall about 12 inches and you squirt it on like orange peel. So first I did low pressure with big bumps with heavy, with the front on heavy and the back was on low pressure. And I got the big bumps, I knocked them down with my trowel after 5 or 10 minutes. And then I came back and I turned the back switch to high and the front to fine bumps, and I went over the whole thing again. So it kind of matches pretty well. I had done these, all the door handles were through were through the wall. So as you can see, that was all a big hole. I took a butterfly, I call it a butterfly patch. All these were the same way. This one was the same, okay, and I did it the same way with the knockdown and then the orange peel. So, I mean, it matches in pretty well. You can hardly see it. This one I had to let dry and touch up. Okay, I had knocked down and you could see it real clearly. So then I went over it with the real fine high pressure for orange peel, and now it should match in a little better. But the butterfly patch is the patch that I do with the circular bit, with the whole bit. You take the whole bit, and this one, see this one, I haven't done the orange peel over top yet, which definitely it needs it. So I'll have to come back and do that, okay? But I did the butterfly patch, which you take the whole bit and you go almost all the way through, then you tear off the back. I have a video on this, so look through my library and you can find it. This one here came out pretty good. This one's finished. This was every room had a hole in it from the doors because they never put stoppers on it, door stoppers to prevent it. So I never believed in those bump things you put over top, just stick it on and paint it, because you can see that from a mile away. I usually end up repairing the wall the way it should be. But take that butterfly patch, you put it on there, and you spackle it up. Make sure you spackle the back part before you put it in, because that acts as a glue. And then you put the front part. Once you get it on, you flatten out the paper. Now this one I went over again, because I just did knockdown, and now I just went over it with some orange peel. Okay, so it's matching in pretty good. And this you can't see the hole at all. The hole was right about here, right here. So, you know, it's pretty tough sometimes to match it exactly. Like I said, if you just have knockdown, that's easy. If you just have your orange peel, that's easy. But when you have this combination where they've gone out through the room several times and done different textures, then you've got to try and you have a hard job of matching. But anyway, you take that patch I told you, round hole, the spackle or the sheetrock little hole goes inside the wall, and then the paper's on the outside. You flatten that out, let that sit overnight and dry real good, and then you may have to put another coat of spackle on, and then you take and sand it. Make sure you sand it, because you don't want to see those lines in it. You want it nice and flat. Texture isn't to hide the lines. Texture is texture. You want to still get all your lines out of your patch. You want to get all of your lines out of your patch, okay? And that's what makes it look nice, okay? This one you can hardly see at all. I'm pretty proud of that one, okay? But you could see a little bump there. So, I mean, you can't see it from the eye, but with this camera, you can pretty much see where it was, but you can't tell when you just look at it. And up here, they had patched the spots where the towel bar was, and I just went over that. I just did an orange peel on that, so I won't go over that with the spackle knife. I'll just keep it the way it is, let it dry, and paint it again. But sometimes you got to play around with them to get the proper texture. Okay, like you can see up here, you can just barely see them, but there are some flat spots, okay, that may have to be redone. Okay, you're trying to match the wall as close as you can. But this stuff here, when you're doing small work and you don't want to load up a hop or anything, this stuff is great stuff, this Homax. And like I said, you want to get the one with this nozzle on top, because it just has way more control, okay? And And control is what it's all about. Three things, guys. It's the amount of spray coming out the front, heavy or fine. It's the pressure that it comes out at. If you want a bigger blob, you're going to have low pressure. If you want a smaller blob, put high. And then also, it's the distance away from the wall that you're spraying. Okay, if you want a bigger blob, you're going to be closer. That's going to be your knockdown. Okay, if you want a smaller pattern, you know, like an orange peel, then you're going to be further away from the wall, like 12 or 18 inches, and spray it up on there. And you're going to move it in a circular motion. You don't want to go back and forth. You're going to go circular with the thing. Okay, and that'll give you a nice even coverage. And I even I'll slant it in this way, you know, and I'll slant it in, you know, this way, just to make the thing blend in. Blending, that's what you need, blending. All right, people, thanks for coming, watching my video. Hey, there's the chalk paint. Put that aside, that was last week's news. Anyway, Homax, or Homax Wall Texture Pro Grade Knockdown or Orange Peel. I hope you learned something from the video. You may have to spray it on and wipe it off because you're not happy with it, but it may take a couple times if you're not a professional, because it is a little tricky. It's like an art actually, because you're trying to match the wall that's already there. Have any questions? Leave them in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, my tubers. It's been a great day. Thanks for coming, watching my video. Have a good one. I am out of here.